Look at these two brain scans. Same person, taken 20 minutes apart. Now tell me, which one do you think belongs to someone functioning at their absolute best? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be able to look at any brain scan and immediately know the answer. And what you're about to see might change the way you think about your own brain forever. Here's something most people get completely wrong about genius. They think it's about how hard the brain is working. Like, more activity equals more intelligence, right? More firing, more thinking, more output. That's not it. Not even close. In fact, some of the most groundbreaking neuroscience research of the last 20 years shows the opposite. The brains of highly creative, high-performing people, they're actually quieter in certain regions, while being lit up like a Christmas tree in others. And the difference between these two states comes down to one thing: brain waves. Specifically, one frequency that researchers have been paying very close attention to. We're going to look at that on an actual brain scan today. But first, really quickly, because I want this to actually make sense to you, I need to show you what you're even looking at when you look at a brain scan. So, there are two main ways scientists image brain activity. fMRI, that's functional MRI, measures blood flow to different regions. More blood flow means more metabolic activity, so the brain is working harder in that area. Then there's the EEG, electroencephalography, which is the one with all the electrodes on the scalp that actually reads the electrical signals, the waves your neurons are firing in. What we care about today is the EEG side of things, because that's where the frequency story lives. Your brain doesn't just think, it pulses, it oscillates. Every second of your life, your 86 billion neurons are firing in rhythmic patterns, and those patterns have frequencies, cycles per second, hertz. Different frequencies correspond to radically different mental states, and here's the one they've been obsessing over at Cognitive Neuroscience Research. It's called the theta frequency band, 4 to 8 cycles per second. You know when you're in the shower and you suddenly solve a problem you've been stuck on for a week? Or you're half asleep and an idea hits you so clearly it wakes you up? That's theta. That's your brain dropping into this low, slow, almost dreamlike oscillation, and somehow being more capable in that state than when you're grinding away at full alert. Here's why that's wild. The neuroscientist Eric Kandel, Nobel Prize-winner, spent years documenting how memories consolidate and how learning actually sticks. What his work kept pointing to was this: learning isn't just about acquiring information. It's about your brain linking that information to existing networks. And that linking, it happens the most efficiently in lower frequency states, in theta. It's also the dominant brainwave during REM sleep, the creative, memory sorting, pattern recognizing part of sleep. And it's what meditators are producing on command after years of practice. So what does that look like on a scan? This is what most of us look like most of the time. This is a brain running what's called beta, 13 to 30 hertz, fast, alert, busy. Look at the prefrontal cortex here, the front of the brain. The part that handles logic, planning, decision-making. It's very active. Makes sense, right? You're thinking. But look at this region, the default mode network. It's also firing. The DMN is what activates when you're worrying about the future, ruminating about the past, running your mental to-do list in the background. It's also called the self-referential network because it's basically your brain narrating your own life to you. When this is active at the same time as your task-focused prefrontal cortex, it creates what researchers call cognitive interference. Your brain is fighting itself. You're trying to focus and your inner narrator won't shut up. Sound familiar? This is the default state for most modern humans. Overstimulated, overthinking, DMN running hot. Now, look at the second scan. Same person. After 20 minutes of eyes closed theta entertainment, audio tones designed to guide the brain toward that 4 to 8 hertz range. A few things jump out. The prefrontal cortex is still active, but differently, more coherent. In neuroscience, coherence means different regions are firing in sync with each other. Less scattered noise, more coordinated signal. Researchers measured this as increased frontal theta coherence, and it consistently shows up in studies of creative problem solving and what psychologists call flow states. The DMN, it's quieted down, not off. It never goes fully off, but the constant background chatter has dampened, and in its place, there's increased activity in the hippocampus, your memory and learning center, and the anterior cingulate cortex, which is involved in attention and error monitoring. The brain hasn't slowed down. It's reorganized. It's running more efficiently. That shift from scattered beta noise to coordinated theta rhythm is what this technology is attempting to produce on demand. By the way, if you actually want to test something like this for yourself, there's a tool that a lot of people in the focus space have been raving about. It uses sound frequencies based on theta brainwave research, and there's a 7-minute audio routing that's been getting wild reviews. I'll throw the link in the description for anyone that's curious. So, how do you actually get a brain to change its frequency? This is where it gets genuinely cool. There's a principle called the frequency following response. Your brain has a natural tendency to synchronize with rhythmic external stimuli. It was first documented in the 1970s by Dr. Gerald Oster at Mount Sinai Medical Center. He showed that when you introduce an auditory beat, a rhythmic pulse, the brain will actually begin to follow it, entrain to it. The most common version of this is binaural beats. You play a slightly different frequency in each ear, say 200 hertz in the left ear and 204 hertz in the right. Your brain perceives the difference, 4 hertz, as a third tone that doesn't actually exist in the audio. And then it begins to produce electrical activity at that frequency, 4 hertz, theta. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have replicated this effect. A 2019 paper in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience found significant increases in frontal theta power after 30 minutes of binaural beat exposure. A 2005 study by Thomas Budzinski at the University of Washington showed measurable improvements in cognitive performance in elderly subjects after theta entrainment protocols. This isn't fringe science. It's documented, replicated, and increasingly mainstream in cognitive neuroscience. Here's the thing I keep coming back to. You already know what theta feels like. You've been there. The shower insight, the half-asleep idea, the afternoon walk where everything suddenly clicked. What's interesting about frequency entertainment is that it's not trying to create something new in your brain. It's trying to help you access something that's already there, on demand, without waiting for the shower or the 3-hour meditation retreat. The before and after scans we looked at aren't showing a brain that's been modified. They're showing a brain that's been unlocked. The second scan looks the way a very experienced meditator's brain looks in a calm, focused session. And the research suggests the more you do it, the more your brain learns to get there on its own. That's neuroplasticity in action. You're training a default pattern. Here's why this matters more right now than at any other point in history. The modern information environment is essentially a beta wave machine. Every notification, every scroll, every alert is designed to keep your brain in that fast, reactive, surface-level frequency, because that's what keeps you on the platform. It's not a conspiracy, it's just physics. Fast stimuli produce fast brain responses. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between "there might be a tiger" and "someone replied to my post." And the cumulative effect is a generation of people who have never, or almost never, experienced sustained theta, never felt that deep, creative clarity, the sense that your thinking is organized and powerful instead of scattered and reactive. The research on brainwave entertainment is interesting precisely because it offers a technical shortcut to a state that most of us have been systematically trained out of. That is worth paying attention to. So, back to where we started. These two brain scans, same person, 20 minutes apart. The first one, that's most of us, most of the time. Busy, noisy, fighting itself. The second one, that's the same brain in theta. Coherent, efficient, quiet in the right ways, and active in the right ways. The science here is real. It's documented, and it keeps pointing toward the same thing. Your best thinking happens not when your brain is working hardest, but when it's oscillating at the right frequency. If today's video helped you out, and you want to actually try the brain audio thing I mentioned earlier, the link is in the description and pinned comment. It's the same one I keep going back to, worth a look. Thank you for your time and attention, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.